Hello again, Struck. Here I am with another upcoming games video for December 2022. This one is dedicated to roguelite, roguelike, and any rogue adjacent games. And I've got 13 titles. There were much more than 13, but I wanted to make the video reasonably long. So I stopped at 13 as the number of titles to include. They're Steam games, Switch games, PlayStation, Xbox, but mostly Steam, and some of them are Epic and GOG titles as well. So all of those have a Steam page, all 13 of them. I hope you enjoy this selection and the video. Buckle up and let's go. The first title on the list is called Falsepine, developed and self-published by Voyager Softworks. A true indie game, which is very nice looking, very good looking for 3D action roguelike, isometric Diablo style kind of hack and slash game. Join a long lineage of hunters as you run and gun through the Wild West in this action roguelike. Take on bounties, unlock powerful weapons, and come face to face with a gallery of terrifying monsters. What to expect is hunting legendary creatures. There's 5 legendary creatures across the untamed West. Use all your wits and skill to combat these dangerous foes and overcome the challenge. Explore a brutal world. So, from the snowy grizzly peaks to the dusty arid badlands, track down and collect clues and journals detailing the rich history of each monster. Each clue found may be the key to your success or your defeat in the grand showdown. You have to plan ahead, so you go to the town of Falsepine, purchase weapons and equipment at gold and irons, buy drinks and clues at the Crossroads Saloon, store valuable items at the bank, and equip gear and take on unique bounties at the Hunter's Camp. Um, there's also, you create a unique the unique hunter you want to make. Variety of playstyle to suit all types of hunters. Do you want to be an unstoppable pickaxe wielding barbarian or perhaps an agile high damage sniper? There's 35 different weapons and tools, pairing them with a variety of talismans and artifacts to create different builds to every taste, to cater for every taste. So yeah, there's a ton of bounties to complete, and how you will affect an expedition would be affected by those missions. Overall, I think it's an amazing title. I got surprised in the pleasant way when I found out that this game is coming. I think if it's well priced, it could be massively successful if it gets the right kind of marketing. And this is I forgot to mention in the previous game. Gonna be chronological order. So the games are not in a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're in a chronological order of release date, starting with games releasing in 1st of December, and this one is another one releasing in the 1st of December. Spire of Glory by Ferran Pla, self-published and developed by that person. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce their name. Surpass the challenges of the Spire. Your legacy begins now. Prove your worth. A 2D auto-bat where choices matter, a retro-looking tactical roguelike game. So regarding gameplay, classic auto battle with a small but key difference, repositioning in battle. So when it comes to team managing and strategy and positioning, all the choices that you make will have a big impact on the result. There's item shops, upgrades and rerolling, character systems and leveling through special items, randomly generated encounters according to the depth of the spire, stance selection to manipulate what your team does in battle and out of battle, level up and unlock items, pool building system in a pre-run environment that will allow you to manipulate the item generation, creating your own builds, making you stronger over time, only if you are clever about it. So 6 hero classes and growing, 10 enemy classes and growing, 65 unique items and growing, 6 unique rooms and you've guessed it, and growing. Pool building system to manipulate item generation, rigorous synergies, and cool pixel art style and glow. So yes, your legacy begins now. Prove your worth. Next up, we have a title coming on the 2nd of December. Warlords Under Siege, which is a mix of RTS and roguelike genre. I was gonna include this in my builder and sim games, but I decided, nah, let's add it into the roguelite one. So yeah, you build a small city and defend it against continuous waves of enemies. Improve your assortment of weapons with each playthrough, unlocking new possibilities to beat the ever-increasing threat. Developed by Redkar Limited, published by Redkar Limited and Hawthorne Games. It will be an early access release, but there is already a demo on Steam you can play for free um, if you are interested in that one title. So definitely good stuff to look forward to. It looks pleasant. It looks nice 3D visuals. Nothing too advanced, nothing too heavy. So even weaker machines should be able to run this no problem if it's well optimized, and it seems like it is. So collect resources to build and improve your city and prepare for a siege. Recruit soldiers to sally forth against your enemies. Select your hero and command them to defend the choke points. Collect experience points to upgrade them. Decide which bonuses to pick at daybreak. Infantry improvements, faster production, it's up to you. Build and revise your card deck with upgrades to help you in your next playthrough. And you collect gold during the siege, but even if your city falls, you can use it to upgrade your next city. Spend it on unlocking new technologies, improvements, and card packs. Defend longer with each playthrough. So it seems solid. If you're interested, again, test the demo, and on the 2nd of December, early access starts. The next game also releases on the 2nd of December 2022, developed and published, self-published by Degenerate Triangles. It also has a demo and it also will be an early access release. Twisted Draw is a card-based strategy game set in a medieval realm where the necromancer threatens to wipe out life as we know it. Collect and command powerful units and spells to keep the hordes of undead at bay. Regarding the gameplay, a turn-based strategy game, you and the necromancer will individually gain control of the battlefield and command your units to move and attack as you see fit. You'll also be able to dish out damage to enemy units and buff your own troops with any instant cards in your hand. There are different types of cards. For example, melee units, which are ground troops. They spawn back at the base and will follow your orders to move up the battlefield and attack enemy units when within range. Whereas range units can be spawned in designated towers around the map, can be ordered to shoot at incoming enemies at a variety of ranges. Then damage spells deal instant damage to enemy units, but be careful not to put your own troops in the line of fire. Whereas buff spells give your units a little pick-me-up with increased damage and range. This can be used on a selected unit and last a designated amount of turns. So if interested, you know what to do. There is a free demo to download on Steam, and on the 2nd of December is the release date. The next title on this list is a multi-platform release. Steam for PC, then Xbox XS, PS5 for Switch, and then eventually in 2023 they're also planning to add GOG and Epic to the list. But for the other platforms except GOG and Epic, the 5th of December 2022 is when Swordship releases. Developed by Digital Kingdom, published by Thunderful Publishing, it is a futuristic lightning-fast dodge 'em up which flips the script on the traditional arcade shooter. Turn both the tide of battle and enemies on themselves by dodging, weaving, and diving your way through an onslaught of enemies hell-bent on tearing your swordship apart. So dodge 'em up, very interesting way of calling this game's genre. So dodge attacks to survive and trick your enemies into killing each other. Steal containers and deliver them to upgrade your ship or improve your score. No shooting, but all the action. Guns are cool, but they're bulky and heavy. The swordship doesn't have any. That's part of what makes it so light and maneuverable. Ship variant. Collect power boosting components and experiment with different playstyles in your runs. Whereas upgrading is exchange stolen containers for passive upgrades that fit the situation and your playstyle. And in the end, there is also weather. Learn to master the different weather conditions to get through the randomly generated levels. Overall, it seems like a fun title, very, very unique, extremely unique title. It also has a demo, and it will be a full release on the 5th of December 2022. The demo is on Steam. Next up is a game that I actually got a key for, and I will be playing it sometime soon. It will be coming on the 6th of December 2022, developed by Aptivus, published by Retrovibe. Impaler is a minimalist arena shooter with spikes. Summon spikes to slay monsters, build barriers, and reach higher ground. Impaler's roguelike elements ensure each run is a unique challenge. it will be priced at $2.99. So the confirmed price is $2.99, coming on the 6th of December 2022. Extremely well priced game. I think many of you might enjoy it. Apparently a playthrough takes 30 minutes. But since it's a roguelite game, since replayability is apparently super vast in this game, it should give you more than enough of your money's worth for $3. So impale monsters with magic spikes in the 90s inspired arena shooter. Summon spikes to impale, build barriers and reach higher ground. Then bunny hop and strafe for extra speed. Fallen monsters to perform devastating stomp attacks. Earn gold to buy 40 plus unique upgrades. Highly replayable with 7 weapons, 10 enemies and diverse map layouts. Original pixel art inspired by the 90s shooters. Moody atmosphere with rain, fog and colorful lightning. Retro synth metal tracks and crunchy sounds. A custom engine made in pure C++ OpenGL, no bloat. Dynamic lightning and fog, soft particles and volumetric effects, and bullet penetration and ricochets in that custom engine. If Impaler seems like your kind of game, well, soon we will have a taste of it. And again, I already have a key for it. I will be streaming it very soon. The embargo is lifted, so I can stream it before the release date. I just have to figure out when to find time for it. Next up is an interesting title called Necro Bouncer. Happy hour has arrived. Become the Necro Bouncer and toss out rowdy guests in a roguelike adventure through the nightclub dungeon. Raise the dead, discover hundreds of relics, ban enemies, and gobble up their powers. It's one hell of a good time. 8th of December 2022, developed by Alchemy Ship, published by Raven Age Games and Indie Arc. Pixel graphics, dungeon crawler, roguelike. Seems amazing in my opinion. It could be fun to many of you. Pretty much hacking and swashing in the club. Rip through the crowds and bust up some bosses. Consume powers hidden in gemstones to improve and upgrade your bouncing skills. Stir them together in various ways and discover powerful new mixes to demolish the drunks of the dungeon. There's Twitch integration where players can vote for artifacts, mana, health potion spawns, and even appear in the game as one of its wasted enemies. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, cheesy, but that's how roguelites are. Return stronger, angrier, and more heavily armed after each defeat. Experiment with outfits, each with its own unique perks. Devise clever strategies, upgrade powers, and swirl them all together with hundreds of artifacts. Concoct the perfect cocktail of success. Next up is Crow Tactics. A game that I was originally gonna include in my tactical games for December video, but since it has roguelite elements, I was like, let's put it in this video. So Crow Tactics, developed and self-published by a sole developer, Icefield from Korea. A release date the 9th of December 2022 as a full release. I was really happy with what they do once, except for 2 missions, including the ending. So I'm happy with the recent Korean-made tactical games. We know they like a challenge, and hopefully this is not too difficult. Crow Tactics is a unique hybrid of tactical RPG and roguelike. Manage a party of adventurers and use the environment to your advantage to conquer the dungeon. It looks cool. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is how it looks like Tactics Ogre, with that diorama kind of battlefield with the different stages of elevation and stuff like that. But it adds extra depth to the battle. So turn-based tactical battles pitting the team you built against groups of vicious enemies. Various skills and classes to customize your party. Deadly weapons and items. And there's also a different dungeon every time. Battlefields and dungeons are procedurally generated. Various dungeon habitats. From forests to caverns and ruins to catacombs. Some rooms are filled with peril and others with helpful NPCs. There's also options to use all sorts of different powerful magic and skills, including the environment. Traps and hazards can be exploited by both you and your adversaries, so either take cover behind barrels or zap pools of water. The next title on this list is a very interesting title, Mythic Forest Warden, an action game where you play as a forest's pagan god in the World War II times. Use God's magic, brute force, sharp claws, and Nazis weapons to drive Germans away from your land. Releasing on the 20th of December 2022, developed by Beast Games SA, and no relation to Mr. Beast here, and published by Console Waps SA. A first-person action roguelike horror, dark fantasy, I guess, horror, very realistic-looking World War II game. So many things in, so many nice stacks attached to this game. So yeah, lurk into the dark World War II world from the mythic pagan god's eye of view. You are a forest warden, and you have 4 armed torso and a different head. Nazi soldiers decide to kidnap one of your bodies to get knowledge on how to become a god. Your goal is to get back to your body and drive Germans away from your land. As you're a forest god, you have some decent god's abilities called spells. So use them to help you. Fireballs, ground slams, wooden shield, and so on. Then you have weapons. As a beast, you can use your horrendous claws to kill enemies, but that's not everything. You know how to use mankind's weapons like standard MP40 guns or even MG42, heavy machine guns, and all sorts of other stuff. But you're also a guardian. You're trying to save the forest. The Nazis have figured out that that's your weakness, the forest, and they're trying to kill animals, burn trees, and so on. So they want to drive you mad, and you have to stop them. And forest knowledge is here to help you. It's your home. You know everything about it. Its deepest secrets. So walk on tree branches, use underground tunnels, and gain energy from the ancient pagan trees. Use everything to be ahead of Nazis in this war. And since you have 4 arms, you can use them for all sorts of things. Ripping enemies apart, breaking their necks, or using them to open big massive gates and flip vehicles and so on. Looks like a fun game. Maybe it's to your liking, maybe it's not. 20th of December is when it's coming out. Now, this is another very interesting title. It's hard to tell from just the footage that I've seen how good it will be, but it is a roguelike dark fantasy game that tells a story of a demigod who wants to escape the Egyptian underworld to save his beloved woman who was doomed to lose her soul forever, Osiris. Releasing on the 22nd December of 2022, Processor Game Studio is the developers and publishers, so a true indie game. It's a Diablo style roguelite hack and slash. So you have the Diablo style isometric hack and slash camera, but with a roguelite twist. Yeah, there's demons, mythology, dark fantasy. The game looks pretty impressive, and if people are showing interest in it, tell me, and I can get a key. I've been pre-approved for a key for this game in one of the websites that gives keys, so I could just accept it. I think I actually need to accept it because it's hard to tell how good this game would be just from footage. We have to test it, so I'll try to find some time to play this game and show it before it releases if there is no embargo. There used to be a demo. I think the demo is gone now. But a little bit more about this game. Play as an immortal Duat hero, receiving the seals of the gods of Egypt, discover the Egyptian hell, unraveling semi-procedural scenarios, wield legendary weapons and create unique combos, face merciless bosses, unleash super special powers with endless ways to upgrade your weapons, evolve your power infinitely in the talent system, find the most secret treasures and use it to get more powerful, bargain with lost legends in the shops, secret papyries and sacrificial altars. It says sacrifices, but it should be sacrificial. Each play is completely different with millions of possible combinations of skills and talents. Face even greater challenges with New Game Plus. They're saying Game Plus with a plus after the plus. So with words Game Plus and then plus the symbol. Seems lame. So I'm just gonna say New Game Plus. Regarding gameplay systems, random skills on every turn, never the same game, infinite possibilities of skill combinations, semi-procedural random scenarios, different weapons and playstyles, unique upgrades and special powers, permanently talent, this should say permanent talent upgrades, and treasure systems, secret items and characters, and it's obviously an Unreal game. It looks fun. I would love to try it, so I will try it sometime soon. Now is an interesting title that has been for over a year in early access, but is finally releasing, and it will be releasing on Steam, which it currently is in early access on that platform, but it also will release on Epic and GOG. In the description of this video, I've included an Epic referral creator code. If you use it, I can get some profit. But obviously, if you don't like Epic, there's not much you can do about it. The early access currently is pricing the game at 25% off. Promotion ending the 29th of November. So at 25% off, it's 9.96 euro. So 10 buck title. Otherwise, it's 13 euro 29, which is still a reasonable price. I've played the demo some time ago and I really liked it. And it's a cool game. It's definitely a fun one. A character-based shooter with roguelike elements, Ira celebrates the artistry of what shooter fans call bullet hell. Um, so developed by AB Shot, published by Nicalis. As I mentioned, there's a lot of good stuff about it, but pretty much shoot arrows from 166 different balls. Choose 3 special perks, power-ups, each time you level up. There's 150 unique relics, which are passive buff items. 43 different synergies from bow plus relic combinations. 5 different apostles that can be conjured for special ultimate skills and passive perks, and as well as procedurally generated maps across more than 6 different stages, and also boss battles with exceptionally devious projectile patterns. I think many of you out there would like it if you're fans of action RPG bullet hell roguelite games. And here comes an interesting sequel, Remote Life 2 Fearless. Remote Life 2 is a sci-fi and action-packed platformer. Combat against scary aliens and escape from the monster hive. After the success of the first Remote Life, you can now enjoy even more of the crazy weapons, cool vehicles, and outstanding and unique art. The release date is December 2022. It doesn't specify which December, so take it with the whole salt shaker. It could change. It could be 2023. It could be just a placeholder date they put there. Developed and published by the same company or person. Next Game Level. Action roguelike, side scroller, 2D platformer. Looks nice. If you're into that, I think you would love this one. So there's many weapons and several vehicles that you can use to accomplish each level. And the level design is not linear, so that you have to discover items that allow you to unlock doors and weapons. The typical old school level design. Every level of 15 missions contains many enemies to fight, a middle-sized boss and a huge final boss. You can play with keyboard only or with keyboard and mouse for aiming, or with the gamepad. Each mode gives you a different game feel. Overall, it looks amazing, especially the art style. So if you're looking for something like that, well, we'll see when this releases, I guess soon. The last game on this list is another that looks amazing. You know what's been very popular nowadays? The reverse bullet hell genre. The things that look like Vampire Survivors. I mean, Vampire Survivors wasn't the first, but it was definitely the first to make it big and to make the reverse bullet hell popular. So Nordic Ashes Survivors of Ragnarok is a Viking Norse mythology take on this genre. Norse-themed roguelike enemy hell, where you have to survive hordes of creatures that come your way. Unlock new weapons and abilities as you battle. Upgrade your character stats with constellation ability trees and slay your enemies before they surround you. Or it may be too late. Developed and published by Noxfall Studios, which I think is 3 people. Small team. Self-published indie game releasing in 2022. It's not saying December, November, it's just saying 2022. So again, take it with the whole salt shaker. It might change, it might be just a placeholder, but there is a button on Steam that you can click that would add you into the playtest. You can request access to the playtest. That playtest started on November 23rd, so 2 days ago. I'm recording this on the 25th. You'll probably be watching this video on the 26th or later. The developers are active and passionate about this, it seems, judging by the Steam page and the updates and stuff. So there's also Slay Your Twitch chat. For streamers, the feature was made so that you can connect the Twitch account in the settings panel and fight against hordes of enemies named after people from your chat. So another small game that goes the extra mile to make Twitch integration. So yeah, there's all sorts of beasts, basic creatures, elite monsters, epic bosses, and all with their own AI. So don't be fooled, even minions can be pretty dangerous. There's unlocking new weapons and abilities as you battle, upgrading your character stats with constellation ability trees, and slaying your enemies before they surround you, or it may be too late. There is a technical demo. I guess that's what the request access is. There's different maps to play, each of them based on a world connected to Yggdrasil, the legendary Norse tree. New characters with exclusive abilities and weapons depending on their role. That's future features that I'm reading now. And then there will be constellation ability trees to upgrade your survivor's powers, also bosses with their own AI to make battles more epic, and dozens of relics to unlock. Coliseum, secrets, and more secrets. So you can play with mouse and keyboard or with a controller. It looks amazing, this game, and I think it might be a hidden hit. As long as it gets a good price and enough marketing, it could do wonders maybe. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.